Hi, it's me, Linda Burhan, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. This week we have a guest tip from my good friend.
Hi, I'm Rick Henkin. My wife Sonia was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in January 2020 at the age of 65. I've seen too many caregivers suffer physically, emotionally, and mentally, sometimes more than the loved ones they care for. I was determined not to let this disease take me down, and I found a way to cope. Now I help other caregivers do the same. Ever had a moment in caregiving so chaotic, all you could do was laugh? Wait till you hear what my wife did at IHOP, International House of Pancakes. As anyone walking this journey knows, caregiving can be emotionally draining. There are moments of stress, frustration, anger, and sadness. But over time, I found that one of the best ways to lighten the load and reduce these feelings is to look for the humor in the situations we find ourselves in. I've learned to laugh, not at Sonia, but at the unexpected and often endearing moments that Alzheimer's brings into our lives. These moments aren't planned, and they're certainly not intentional, but they have a way of standing out, reminding me that joy still exists. Let me share a few stories with you. One time I walked in on Sonia in the bathroom and saw her putting toothpaste in her hair. Naturally, I had to ask, "Why are you putting toothpaste in your hair?" She just looked at me and laughed. I guess she thought it was funny too. Now, I don't know if toothpaste is a good hair conditioner, but you know what? Her hair smelled minty fresh for the rest of the day. Then there was a time we were at a farmer's market. Sonia has a natural magnetism toward kids and dogs. She just adores them. So when a little toddler wandered away from his mom, Sonia, ever the helper, picked him up, carried him over to another woman, offering him as if to say, "Here's your child." The woman, of course, said, "No, that's not my child." Thankfully, the mom came over quickly and recognized what was happening. I was concerned about how she might react, but she was incredibly understanding. In fact, she gave Sonia a hug, and Sonia, being Sonia, kissed her on the cheek. It was such a touching moment of humanity and kindness. Another time, we were out for a walk when we passed a woman breastfeeding her baby behind her car. Sonia, in her sweet and sincere way, stopped and said hello, and then asked, "Do you need any help?" The woman, though surprised, smiled and said, "No, thank you." It was one of those moments where you can't help but appreciate Sonia's good heart and her unique way of connecting with people. And just the other day, we were at my sister-in-law's house for a barbecue. Afterward, we walked to a nearby park where there was a live music concert. Hundreds of people enjoying picnics, sitting on blankets and folding chairs, soaking in the music. I was holding Sonia's hand as we walked through the crowd, and then I noticed something in her left hand. Sonia was holding a 3/4 full bottle of Diet Pepsi. I thought to myself, I didn't buy that for her. Where'd it come from? I can only imagine someone later realizing their drink was missing. And of course, there's a story I often tell about our trip to the International House of Pancakes, IHOP. Let me tell you what happened when I took my beautiful wife Sonia to IHOP. It started off as a typical breakfast outing, a nice little treat for both of us. Sonia loves her pancakes, and honestly, I enjoy the small moments we get to share like that. But as it often happens, life decided to throw in a bit of comedy. While I was paying the server at her table, Sonia, who let me tell you is incredibly fast, managed to get up, wander over to another table, and grab a piece of someone else's pancake. Can you imagine? My first reaction was to panic. But before I could even process what had just happened, the gentleman whose pancake she borrowed was all smiles. He was so kind, just like most people are when they see us out and about. He offered her the piece of pancake like it was no big deal. I thanked the man, apologized, tried to usher Sonia back, and thought, okay, let's just wrap this up quickly and head out. But no, the comedy didn't end there. In my mad dash to leave the restaurant as discreetly as possible, I accidentally opened the only alarmed emergency exit. Yes, the kind that blares a loud piercing siren for everyone in the restaurant to hear. Now picture this. Sonia's standing there contentedly as if nothing happened. The man is smiling at her, and I'm the guy holding the alarm door open with everyone staring at us. One thing after another. At that point, what else can you do but laugh? And laugh I did, because here's the thing. What could have been a moment of embarrassment or frustration turned into a moment of joy simply because I chose to see the humor in it. When life throws moments at you, don't take yourself too seriously. Find this funny side. Laugh it off and keep moving forward. Sometimes those are the stories you'll treasure the most. These moments are part of our lives now, and while they might be chaotic or unexpected in the moment, they become memories I cherish. They're reminders to me, and hopefully to you, that it's important to look for the humor, not to make fun of our loved ones, but to help ourselves cope with the emotions we feel as caregivers. Humor has a way of diffusing stress and replacing frustration with gratitude. It shifts your perspective and helps you see the beauty and connection in the midst of the challenges. These stories, these moments, they're gifts. They allow me to laugh, to connect with others, and to create memories that I'll hold on to forever. So my message to you is simple. Look for the humor in your own caregiving journey. Whether it's a small, funny incident or a moment of kindness from a stranger, let those experiences lighten your heart. They're not just stories. They're a way to transform the tough days into something beautiful.
Thanks so much. Tips are invaluable, especially when I have someone on my team to help me out. Tune in next week for another tip sponsored by Arden Courts, where all they do is memory care, and have a delicious day.